fucking name. What's up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? We've even got a raid at the start of the first stream back after Christmas. Thank you, Mashika Shadows. You're awesome. Everybody needs to go and follow Mashika if you're not already. Mashika is amazing. I am just going to give you a quick shout out here. However, this is the first session back for our Alan Dresser crew. How's everybody feeling?
Pretty good.
Whack. Ready to take on the new year.
Right.
Yeah? Okay.
Mhm.
Well,
Starting to kick some
I'm
butt.
feeling quite positive. I hope that you guys are feeling fairly positive too. We're going to have a bit of a recap in a moment. Let me just bring my notes up. But it was quite a momentous session the last time. Can anybody tell me what happened in your own words?
We
won
tried
and
to blow
lost
up
at
the
the same
gods
time.
and it didn't work.
Two people talking at once there. Give me one nugget each there.
We tried to blow up the gods and it didn't work.
You tried to blow up the
I-
gods. That's a pretty astute observation, I would say, yeah?
I would say we won and lost at the same time.
You won and lost at the same time. Also fairly accurate.
Still alive.
Anyone else got any more insight into what happened?
Ruby's accidental creation of a paladin really backfired.
Yes. Yes. I wonder if you figured out how that guy got to be so powerful so quickly. He started as a basic guard and ended up to be like a level 12 cleric in no time.
I'll pretend it'll have nothing to do with Ambrosia because I had not clocked that or given that any thought. I'll stew on that. Thanks, DM.
Also, just some relatively, just innocuous things that people may or may not have noticed. That winter is creeping north further than it has done in centuries. This is it's an unusual time for a lot of people, of course. If anyone on stream is starting to notice that the numbers by everybody's names are changing, it's because I'm on Photoshop changing them as we speak, which is why I sound a little bit distracted. So let's get into our little recap, I guess. Essentially, over the last 26 sessions, I think it was, you guys had been working your way from, what's the name, Ironfront, around the continent to try and find the answers to each of your problems. Some of you have solved those problems or created new ones. I'm looking at you, Ruby. Others have sort of, figured out ways to leave them to one side for the common good so that you can focus on other matters. One of the biggest problems that you'd seen was that many members of a secret sort of group who are selected to hold Ragnarok at bay, that those people have been being murdered. Many of them were murdered as time goes on. Victor had his particular boss, Big Red, of Big Bad Bacon Inc., murdered. Head completely clean cut off their body, and not even particularly clean. It looked like it was cut off with a silver-edged like thing that had just been left in a cabinet in their desk. Turned out that it was because they were aware wolf or a were-tiger. They were some kind of a corruption of the natural order anyway. What happened next was you went north. You found yourself in Dreidel, and you were there trying to find a particular person to get something for the Howlers. This was one of Isabel's quests. Isabel was sent from the group that she frequents, and has a lot of say and involvement with, and is part of essentially their pack. The Howlers were running short of funds, were running short of food, and were in desperate need of both, and asked Isabel to go north and try and find a person by the name of Friedrich Ratzenberger. I believe it was, yeah, sure it was that. Anyway, it turned out that he was the Pied Piper of Hamelin, although not of Hamelin, of Dreidel, as it is now called. He had been completely ostracized after he'd rid the town of rats and people hadn't paid him. He decided to take his revenge and take their children and give them to the Fae. So the Fae took them instead of the children just being disappeared, and nobody appreciated him after that point. They thought that he was a piece of shit, and so he left himself to wallow in his own hateful ways, and rightly so, according to you guys, who decided that it was better off that you don't intervene when he was being ruthlessly beaten by everybody there. Then the whole place just sort of erupted and imploded, where giant crocodiles came up from the sewers, and you had to fight those guys. With a little bit of help from a friend, the guards, who then came to take problem with you, then conveniently disappeared. Some relationship with that friend have been growing in many ways, and we've found ourselves at this point where you have been face to face with Ox and Orana. Ox being the elder Norse god, otherwise known as Buri. I wonder if any of you know Norse mythology well enough to tell me why he's called Ox. That's not really a secret. I could easily tell you, but I'm just wondering now if any of you know.
Why he's called what?
Ox. Why would Buri be called Ox? Any ideas?
The symbol? Animal symbol?
So
was it like his form?
it's because in Norse mythology, like IRL, in Norse mythology, Buri didn't have parents. He was given birth to by a giant ox, which is like the greatest of all of the elder gods in Norse mythology. It's like the cow that created the world, basically. In Norse mythology, they believe that a giant cow birthed the world, and also birthed Buri, and Buri was like the first of the elder gods. So hence why he might have a bit of a I don't know, a bit of a problem with other people's authority. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. That's essentially his whole shtick. Well, you got here and you found him and Orana betraying their new paladin bud. Thank you for getting in his head there, Ruby. You really gave me a good angle to get someone betrayed in that moment. Not your fault.
No problem.
But I was going to do it anyway. But yeah, you unfortunately weren't able to put a halt to the proceedings. He was able to murder this travelling companion and left hand of his, and betray him, which was what brought about Jack. Jack being what's called a psychopomp. A psychopomp is a kind of mythological creature or demigod that is given the task of taking beings to the afterlife, like Hermes, like Thanatos, like all of those kind of people. Anubis, they're all psychopomps. Anyway, so yeah, Jack came along to take his soul, Jack being a little bit corrupted by all of the curses that he's had done to him through his life. Why that happened to him, you don't know particularly, but you know some. When you got here, unfortunately, everything was a little bit too far progressed, and you have now, unfortunately, failed in your mission to stop this ceremony from going through and starting up Ragnarok. So, as so many of you don't know what Ragnarok is, and as I have openly discussed, in Norse mythology, there is no true discussion and agreement between the poets of the old epics of what Ragnarok actually is. I guess you're going to have to find out what it is and what it entails. But that's your sort of recap of the whole campaign up to date. So I know that some of you have been keeping notes and others have been focused more on just going with the moment and seeing what you can remember, or even on watching the videos. This was your sort of roundabout summary of what happened. I don't know if that's going to help you, but there we are. Now then, in the days and weeks that follow those events, the time that you spend is in quiet reverence to the events that are about to happen. You don't know what Ragnarok is, but as all of you discussed at the end of last session, you've got a kind of pit of anxiety, of worry, of uncertainty, of what might be, of what might happen now, and whether that's your fault or not. A lot of you blaming yourselves, a lot of you thinking that this was your responsibility to stop. Speaking as a friend, it absolutely was not your responsibility to stop, and you didn't put those events in place in the first place. However, you just happened to be the only adventurers there who stood up for it and tried your absolute best. This guy's been dragging your names through the mud openly, and you've not had an outlet to say anything back. So it's not like you can even defend yourselves. But your time spent investigating the cause of the murders was not for naught. You discovered the perpetrators behind the murders. You found the ritual being enacted to bring about Ragnarok. While you weren't successful this time, you each walked away with your lives. Unfortunately, so did Buri and his right hand, the mute sorcerer, Orana. Shortly following their departure, a huge earthquake has rocked the world of Alandressa. Townsfolk that you meet in your weeks following this speak of rumours from all over. The Red Wall Mountains have cracked. The dead wander from unearthed ancient barrows. Temples to old forgotten gods are shaken from their burial places. Even the sky itself shook as giants on their clouds fell to the earth in places. All of this you learn in the first week following the events of our last session. Your combined resolve to improve lends you toward working together as a group to begin planning and strategizing how to succeed, and even simply on a fight-by-fight basis. Each of you train in your given disciplines as part of this, improving your skills incrementally. You've now leveled up to level 7. Congratulations. What is unusual in this time is the silence. Townsfolk numbers dwindle as the wealthy depart to places unknown. The shadows grow darker as those without the gold to do the same use other means to escape these new uncertainties. But further still is one significant silence which you were unsuspecting. Buri has not made a public announcement. Winter's creep continues north, further than it has progressed in centuries. Guards are occupied with fighting back the undead risen from their barrows. It seems in this unfortunate aftermath you have been afforded the freedom of anonymity, since all who remain are preoccupied with repairing the fallout from the earthquake. Where did you each train, and how did your characters individually contribute towards a group effort to strategize in the coming challenges? Let's go to Isabel first. Isabel, I hate to put you on the spot. I know that you don't like being put on the spot, but I also know that a few other people have left it until the last minute to do their level ups and have also been eating. So because I don't know who is still eating and who isn't, I'm going to ask you. What have you? We've at least discussed this privately. What has Isabel been doing to try and like progress as an individual? But then also, what have you been doing to sort of contribute towards the group's team dynamic, which I think has been As a DM, and as an outsider looking in, it seems like the team's communication and strategizing has been wanting. What has Isabel been doing in this time as you train on yourself and on your party?
I think Isabel would try to. Cheer up is the wrong word.
Keep
Drag
spirits high.
keep spirits a little bit higher. Not
Yeah.
to be happy, but to be not downright depressed or whatever, or anxious
Right.
ridden.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Realistic, yeah. Being realistic,
Yeah.
but at the same time, not just like dwelling on your failure. It doesn't help to let your spirits dwindle as a group or as an individual. It helps to keep that fire burning so that you can go into the next battle and fight and win.
Yeah. But I also get that Isabel probably not in a state herself. And so it's at moments where it's a bit too much for her, she just sits at the edge of some tree lines that look out to a wintry forest somewhere, just sits alone with her thoughts, just trying to keep them still.
Mm-hmm. And when you look for that stillness, is there anything that you feel connected with in nature that helps you bring about that stillness, that calmness of soul?
You said the silence. Did you say anything about how the nature itself is doing, like the small animals and that?
If anything, they're thriving. There's no one around really to hold them at bay. The only enemies that they have are a common enemy with us. So there's because we're the human beings in this population are not out actively fighting the wildlife that's out there. They're fighting the dead, or they've left to go and do something else.
And I guess the dead are naturally not interested in animals.
Right.
I just we all know what's CBT, right? Critical behavior therapy.
Yeah, cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah.
I'm gonna, even though I don't like it, I will borrow a little bit for this. Instead of trying to think of what's been done and worry about the future, I try to just look at all of the animals that probably see me as a statue because I'm so still, and just watching them scurry around and just thinking about what they might be doing and stuff, watching the birds fly overhead. Just not think about what I'm doing, what they're doing, just incurious. Keep myself calm.
It's different being in a world that's it is a fantasy world, but it's quite industrial compared to a lot of other settings that you've probably seen in fiction before, because they've got big corporations, they've got large companies that make deals across continents, they've got like the Big Bad Bacon Inc. sending Victor off to speak with royalty in a different country. Like that's a big thing for a fantasy setting like this. So being somewhere like that, you kind of get used to the sound of wagon trails and the chatter of people in cities and townships, even just farmland people and their the workers, their like helpers as well out in the crop, shouting towards each other. There's not any of that really, and the dead don't speak, so it's quite eerily calm. It's very silent. You hear the flapping of bird wings. You hear the chirping of bats in caves. You feel the wind on your face, and it's not interrupted or it doesn't carry any smoke on it from a smoking chimney stack. It doesn't bring the smell of burning meat or mead or anything like that. It's all just calm. As for the group, how have you so you've been keeping spirits high? Is there anything in particular that you think that Isabel would be doing with that? Maybe something to do with the books that you carry?
Oh, blimey, yeah. I forgot for a moment. I forgot I had that part of my character.
I imagine with your big book bag that it would probably be pretty useful to, I don't know, just have like just to read out loud, or just quite calmly like sit near other people. Some people just like to have parallel play, it's called, don't they? Where you're not actually like engaging in the same activity together, but each of you engaging in your own activities alongside each other is a comfort nonetheless. So yeah, a lot of people just like to do parallel play, and it could be like that where maybe Ruby is meditating and you're there reading a book alongside Ruby. It's just brings spirits high because you know that you've got your party there and you're able to form that connection unconsciously. Maybe that's
I
a way that
mean,
you're sort of helping do that.
It's not really just read out loud much, apart from when it's like the kids sitting near back at the hometown. But maybe when I said things are getting the silence is a bit down and
Yeah.
stuff. As long as nobody tells me to shut up, I just start reading out loud. Not
Sounds
necessarily
wonderful
to the
me.
group, just like if I've always done it.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Isabel. Briar, how do you think that you have been sort of working on yourself to, bring about this improvement in your skills? And how do you think that you have been working on the group's sort of communication and tactics and like that?
So, Ash and I have spent some time together. We agreed that we would kind of share knowledge with each other, since she's a new baby cleric,
Nice.
a Twilight cleric, and I'm kind of teaching her the things that I know, and introducing her to her new skills. So we've spent some time doing that.
Just a point of, it's a small point, but it's a point nonetheless. I think Ash's pronouns are they, them.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're
No,
right.
it's okay. It's just for the campaign, though.
Yeah, it's just for the campaign.
Gotcha. I'll make a mental note of that. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
So we have spent time um going over spells and um skills of the cleric domain, Twilight domain. And then outside of that, I think I would have taken a little bit of personal time to try and reconnect with my goddess Ear.
Yeah.
Since I've been struggling with my connection with that for a while. It seems to come and go at times where I feel the connection is strong and then it kind of dwindles. So it's kind of been up and down on that journey for me. So I would take some time to do that. And then in terms of like the group, I think I would try to talk about maybe like some form of communication, whether it's hand signals or like trigger words, like I don't know, random words, like
Yeah.
something like
The
like
kind of
it
thing
could
that
be like
wouldn't come up in normal
pineapple.
conversation. Yeah.
Right, like if I shout pineapple, that means, you know, all group up or something, or be quiet, or just different words that mean nothing
Yeah.
what they sound like.
Yes, Victor.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
I was going to do the same thing, so I think
Okay,
maybe we work together.
Yeah.
sure.
And I was going to try to teach the guys a few little bits, like 4 or 5 phrases in Thieves' Cant,
Oh,
Perfect.
cool, yeah.
if I may,
Yeah.
if that's okay with the DM, because I know like Thieves'
Hey,
Cant is
100%.
literally a language. But
It's
yeah,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but I feel like it might as well be us working together on that.
Yeah.
To establish like a group of signals for like wait or like they're
Because
lying
Bella can
was one that I was
understand
gonna
any
do.
language.
Yeah. And then like danger, like follow me, wait, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Cool, but yeah. So I will be helping with that and I'll be teaching
Definitely, yeah.
with Ash. We'll learn a little bit of Thieves' Cant for everyone. Thieves' Cant for beginners.
Well, I mean, we can make this a. I think maybe we can just make this an open discussion of what everybody's doing. You know, because I tend to go 1-to-1 just to ask people, but that's really just
Yeah,
because.
sure. I
That's
just
really
didn't
just
see there
because the
being a point in
players.
me waiting until the end to be like,
Oh,
oh, I
totally.
I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
what you
yeah.
did.
No, I
yeah.
fully agree. Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, I
Cool, but-
only really go but one to another person just so that each person has got, you know, enough time to discuss what they want to do. But I think
Cool.
that, you know, we're all adults. I think that we can let
Yeah.
everyone talk. So we've discussed what Isabel wants to do. Anybody else, don't keep yourself muted or quiet. You know, contribute as much as you want.
Yes, I
So
think
Victor's
some
going to be doing
adjusted
that.
thieves can, and then a high five at the end once we've taught everybody.
Nice.
With all of our magical tricks, we got quite a lot of spells going on. So probably a discussion about you know, who's got what and how many things can be put in that fancy little ring that Ash
Yeah.
has, you know, and
Yeah, yeah.
what we want in it, you know, because sometimes the sneaky stuff's really helpful. You
Yeah.
know, that's come in real useful.
Also,
that sneaky spell, but
so
then
like,
also, you know, we could put other things in it too.
well, here's the other thing, right? A lot of classes, a lot of caster classes, they hold each level. You have to learn each spell that you want to do, and then you're like permanently burned into that particular one. There's only a handful of classes where you can only keep them prepared, but you know everything. And that's clerics are one of those, and you've got 2 clerics in your party. So when it comes to your spells, each long rest you can swap out your spells and change it to a different one that you want to prepare for the next day. But you don't have to stick to the ones that you've always used. You can change them out and do whatever you want for whatever spell slot you're up to. You can access every single cleric spell up to that level. So it's worth thinking about, you know, like when you strategize, discuss, well, I've got this cleric spell, or I've got this ability, and I can do this, blah, 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 and I could change it now, and then it's prepared for tomorrow when we go and do the big whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a very good point. I wonder...
If Aldrin opens up the discussion about spells, Ruby will use this opportunity to be open about what's been happening for her in terms of her warlock pact.
Yeah.
Because whilst it's been
Your
apparent
evil.
Ruby, well, that's the thing. Yeah, Ruby will be open about. Will reveal what happened in Dreidel from Ruby's perspective, and be open.
Red robes off for the black ones. Swaps the red robes for the black ones. Yeah.
Yeah, be open about the pact, but Ruby's aim is like Ruby does not perceive the friend as evil at all. This is something I've decided to go, you know, Ruby's only seen good things that the friend has done in a lot of ways and helped the party out and has witnessed friend helping soon. And as Ruby said at the end of last session to Ash, Ruby doesn't perceive nobody being pulled into friend's web as a negative because nobody is sorry, not nobody, nothing is with nothing now.
No,
Nobody.
yeah,
Ruby
nobody
will
is with
be-
nothing.
You had it
There
right the
was
first
nobody.
time. Nobody is with nothing.
Am I
Yeah.
getting I'm getting my nobody and my nothings the wrong way around. Good gravy. I'm ever so sorry.
Yeah.
So
Also,
so that's
Yeah,
oh,
go on.
thanks, Victor, for rolling an insight check.
Insight check. I mean, you only got a 5 on the die, but that is 11. So, you know, wait, no, you only got 4 on the die. My maths is bad.
But I've got good insight. I just rolled bad.
Yeah. I think that if Ruby is being open about this, then you probably don't need to roll about it, you know?
No, I
think-
think I trust. I think I trust
Yeah.
Ruby. I was just making a joke.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
No,
I think
no.
also it does. This definitely is a way of like, yeah, it's something to do with Ruby herself, but it's also something that is going to deepen the connection with the rest of the crew, because whatever questions people have had about you that they've kept to themselves, maybe now would be a perfect time for them to bring it up. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Ruby's
okay, so
opening
what
that
is
discussion
this?
up.
Yeah, so what is their relationship with you, and why are they helping you, and what do they want out of it? And, you know, you've got weeks of this. This is like a few weeks that we're doing. Like, let's say maybe 2.5 weeks. Let's cap it at 2.5 weeks of like, this is the downtime that you guys have got. This is the time where like the earthquake has shaken Alandressa. People have left. People have stayed. People have disappeared. The dead are walking. Like, you guys are focused on you because you can keep your perimeter safe while you're still, you know, keeping yourselves lithe and upping your skills and focusing on each other. And I think that in this time of quietude and self-reflection, I think that you talking about everything and talking about yourself and talking about, you know, connection to it all is probably going to be incredibly beneficial for everybody here.
A group therapy session at the moment.
Yeah. Who haven't we heard from? We've not heard from Ash. We've not heard from Aldrin. What are you guys doing to sort of work on yourselves and work on the group dynamic?
Well, I think, like I said, or like Briar said, I was spending time with her learning about ear and all of the new stuff that comes with being a cleric.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think I tried to meditate and try to remember stuff from my past about what happened to my mom.
Yeah.
Because I know she's dead, I think. Well, my dad told me she was dead, so I just did a lot of like self-reflecting and meditating to try to figure things out, focus more on my crystal to get it to resonate with me more.
Cool.
And I don't know if you're aware, but I did take that level in druid instead of cleric because I'm still a baby cleric. I'm still learning.
Uh-huh. But you are a higher level druid now. What level are you now? You're level 6 druid.
Yes.
Which means that now you can take what do you call it? You can take challenge rating 2 creatures. Because you have to take a third of your druid level. Yeah, you take a third of your druid level in challenge rating, which means that up to now you've only been able to do 1.5, which is still very squishy. But level 2 is actually kind of beefy. They're pretty good beasts to change into. And it always helps to have a godly connection when you're in that mode. But that being said, you still can't cast spells in animal form, which is unfortunate, but I'm sure you'll get there. What do you think?
I mean, who needs spells when you have teeth and claws?
So you've worked on yourself as a druid, and you've worked on you've thought and meditated on your past and on your mother, and worked on this crystal of yours. What do you think that you've been contributing towards the group dynamic? Is there anything that you're sort of thinking about in terms of strategy? A lot of people have been thinking about like how we communicate and how we come together. Do you think that maybe, I don't know, if you don't have any ideas, I could posit you a couple, but is there anything that you've got in mind of how you might work towards the group?
I was actually thinking about the common sign language. About possibly creating something like that within our group.
Yeah.
Like different hand signals that would mean different things.
So I think that you, Victor, and Briar would probably be working together with this then. You'd probably be working as a cohort. If Briar is working on like what was it? Victor, you're teaching them a different language. Briar, you're talking about specific word points. And Ash, you're talking about hand gestures. It all feels to me like there's like a very straightforward way of doing this where it's like there are sound words, but then there are hand words if you can't ever say what you need to say out loud. Or there are people in the area who know thieves' cant, for instance. One thought that I thought that maybe might work really well for Ash, being that you are a winged being and that you have the twilight and the stars in your whole deal, is that maybe you can't map the world by the land so much. You can't really fly up, 5 miles into the sky and just see how everything's different. You could do that up to a point, but you're a big, heavy bird, and those don't tend to really go to the high reaches of the skies, do they? But what you could do is you could rely on star charts, because those are a thing that people navigate the sea by. There's no reason why they can't navigate the land by it too. And if you're worried about how you're going to get around and know which direction you're going in with a different terrain, well, the stars haven't changed, but the land might have. So looking for landmarks might not be so easy, but looking for sky marks, if you want to call it that, those might be a little bit easier for you to navigate by. And that might help the group
Only
out.
at nighttime, though.
Yes, but you've still got common points in the daytime. Like one of our very, very bright things that we see in the sky is other planets. And yeah, they drift, but you can see those even in day. And you could use the time of day as a pointer as well, with like a sundial kind of a thing. It would, I guess, it might it might be helpful, it might not be, but it's something to consider, and for any of you,
So-
mapping the world
So
might be
should I
helpful.
whittle myself a sundial ring?
Oh, you could do that, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could try.
And Aldrin, last but not least, what have you been focusing on yourself, and what have you been doing for the group dynamic, do you think?
So Aldrin has been working with their frogs and training them to work with this new spell that they've come up with and created, or attained.
Mm-hmm.
And which lets them have their little frogs cast dragon breath. So they just spit fire now.
The frogs? Or you?
Yeah. The frogs.
The frogs cast. The frogs can spit
Will
fire.
spit fire. Yeah.
Nice.
Because the Aldrin has to cast it on another creature.
Do you
So-
have any? So I've been thinking about this. Do you have any particular variety in the frogs that you have? Like, I know that you have a lot of venomous frogs that you
Mhm.
touch their skin and you get poisoned by it. Is there any sort of difference in size or shape or anything like that? Do you have names for any of them? Do they still have top hats? What's going on here?
Some of them, there's a couple that still have top hats. There's a couple that are like more like along the lines of poison dart frogs.
Nice.
There's a couple that are more toady than froggy necessarily. Aldrin is not gonna leave out any of the little froggy friends, you know.
Nice.
But the running theme to stick with Aldrin and to be carried with them is that they have to have some kind of toxin going on, some
Yeah.
kind of poisonous quality, and then
Yeah.
I need to think of names for them, but yes,
Has-
they have names, and some of them still have their top hat.
You keep them and you have them as your pets, but have you considered getting any of them into being a familiar, like making them
I've been
an awakened frog?
contemplating that. I just didn't know at which point a sorcerer could get a familiar, or if that was a wizard thing.
It is
or
typically
if
given
I-
to specific classes with specific abilities, but it is the kind of thing that I'm open to if a particular character feels like that it's appropriate for them to have a familiar. I'm not going to say no. I
Yeah.
would just need there to be a reason for it. And if for
These
anybody in this
frogs are
party,
their
for anyone in this
pets
party,
and
I would say
friends.
that Aldrin is the one who is the most likely in my book to be given towards having a familiar, regardless of class. You're the person who has been collecting frogs from the get-go, and you've now even taken a spell as part of your level up, just so that you can give them Dragon's Breath. It would make
Yeah.
sense that you can then communicate with that frog and give it commands so that it can use that Dragon's Breath to good use, and not just be
Yeah.
a wandering frog that just
That
happens
would
to
be
spit
really
fire.
cool. I
So,
was wondering if
I'm not
there
gonna
was
say-
a way that, like, I could animal handling convince the frog to do my bidding.
How about this? It will be a daily challenge. I will set the DC, and every time you roll animal handling, we will subtract from that DC until it hits 0. And the DC I will set as 100.
Alright.
For every time you roll an animal handling, we will take it off of that DC. And say if you roll a 14, then the next day in the campaign, not just the next session, but the next day, you will then spend some more time, let's say every long rest. We'll do it that way, so it just has a way of tracking it, right? So every long rest, as part of your downtime activity, you can choose to use your action in that downtime activity to train your frog to understand commands, listen to you, and act appropriately.
Yeah.
Then we'll take whatever animal handling roll you get. If you get a nat 20 off 100, then it then becomes 80 the next time that you do it. And then you get another nat 20, great. It then becomes 60, whatever. And we continue on until eventually you hit 0, and then that's the point where the frog is, okay, yeah, I'm going to listen to you now. I seem to understand what you're doing. Does that make sense for you? Is that okay?
Sounds good to me, yeah.
Alright. And,
Works for me.
Ruby,
And
you've got a point. Oh, go on. Sorry. Oh yeah, I
sorry,
forgot we
just
haven't asked
for
you what
helping the
the.
group real quick. Also, Aldrin would want to try and help out with the creating our own little language. You know, cast comprehend languages, be able to understand kind of all languages, and then be like, okay, here we go.
Right.
How
So
to
we're
combine them
really
and things
we're really
like-
going for the language side of things.
or
I mean-
just a sneaky method of communication. Because it seems that it comes up in situations where we need to be able to say something to each other,
Yeah.
but then we don't know how to.
Yeah. I am loving how everybody's typing in chat right now. Nobody can see it on my stream, but you just got endless people going backwards and forwards. It's panning my camera all over the place. God's sake, Aldrin. God's sake, everyone's doing it. Right. Okay. Well, here's the thing, right? You're spending like 2.5 weeks, and you're only really focused on trying to get a few words that would make sense. Like learning the Thieves' Cant alphabet and grammar is probably not necessary. You only really need to know, 1 word or 2 words for everything to make sense. And I think that in 2.5 weeks, with 4 of you focused on this, I think we can do a group intelligence check to see how well you guys are able to comprehend things. I'll say that whatever the group median score is, for every number above 10 on the average, that's how many words you can collectively learn from Thieves' Cant. Of course, Victor knows Thieves' Cant in full, because Victor is a rogue. But the rest of you, the other 5, this is going to be on you. So, not Victor, but everybody else, give me an intelligence ability check, please.
Okay, let's
21, 18, great start. 7. Not so good,
Sorry.
but we've got 18
thought
is the
you were
You
median.
have to say it like that.
We got
That was
a nat
very
18 is the
barbarian of
median. 17, still
Be
good.
done.
7.
So we're either a 17 or an 18, whichever way this goes. Ash, you're the last one. Ash, give me an intelligence.
You just click
ability
on
check.
the little intelligence thing at the top.
Yeah.
Just above the
shoot.
number.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Little
was clicking. I
tombstone.
was clicking on the.
Yeah. Almost everything is a button. Okay, so
Wow.
17. 17's the average. So you get, the 5 of you get to pick 7 trigger words that you can learn from Thieves' Cant. So I want you guys to discuss now, like in character, what do you think that you guys are wanting to learn?
I think danger. Stop.
I.
Danger what? Sorry,
Yeah,
you
stop.
cut out.
Follow.
Just type.
Yeah, you can type them in if you want.
Danger, stop, follow. Where are we typing them into?
Put them into the chat. Danger, stop,
Into-
follow,
That's
hide.
Into Foundry.
that-
Yeah, you can do it in Foundry. I'm going to put them into my notes thing anyway, so I'll have it in Word.
How many are we
That's-
doing?
7. You've got 7.
I've typed 4.
Your group intelligence check was 17, so you got 7 above 10. Oh, that's a good one. Lie / deception.
Yeah. Like flee,
like-
like run, like get
Danger.
ready,
feel-
maybe.
Hide and quiet would kind of
Yeah.
be like the same thing.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
like
Do
with
we
false
need-
and true, we can do thumbs up or thumbs down.
I think
Right.
we don't
yeah.
need. I don't think we need true if we've got false. I think we just point
Yeah, I
out
was just
if
thinking
someone
one
was
or the
lying.
other, but
Yeah. Yeah,
I think we'd be
flee is
alright
good.
without. I think we'd be alright without quiet, just because we could do a hand signal for that one,
hmm.
rather than
Yeah.
needing a sounded word. I guess a
Mhm.
sounded word for the
Well-
word quiet.
It's
Might not be ideal.
counterintuitive, isn't it? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Because you're saying something out loud to say be quiet. So I get the point there. I hadn't thought of that.
And you can just do like
Yeah, yeah.
that's fine, isn't it?
So
Everyone knows
danger,
that.
stop, follow, hide. I've got those so far. Those are ones that you all sort of agreed on.
Like deception,
want-
lie.
Yeah, a
Okay.
lie
I
or
think is a
deception.
really good
if one
one.
of us gets a good deception check,
I'm gonna
Yeah,
make
yeah,
you
'cause then
I'm
we
gonna
can-
make you choose one of those. Deception or lie. We can't have either ors.
Oh, I mean, I think it's like this person is lying to us or something
Yeah,
like
So we're
that.
gonna
I
go
was
for
just, yeah, yeah, yeah,
deception?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deception. Okay. And then you've got 2 more. What were the other 2?
Sorry, could you go over again what we've got?
Danger, danger,
Yep.
stop, follow, hide, deception.
And
Do you want flee still?
I think be ready, like get ready to attack, but that's kind of danger, isn't it?
Like prepare?
Yeah. Like kind of on my mark kind of thing. if that makes
Right,
sense.
okay. Yeah.
Wait would do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, wait or
Wait.
hold.
Yeah, hold is good.
Hold is good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. 7. We got 7 words. So you've each learned these 7 words. I will say that as part of this, that you will learn the hand gestures for them as well. Because I don't want you to have a disparity between the two. It doesn't make sense to me. And just learning 7 words in 2.5 weeks, I feel like anybody should be able to do that if they apply themselves. So
As
yeah.
part of this,
Yeah.
sorry, can we like agree on something that we can scratch into things to show that we've been there? Because that's kind of
Or like a
part of
symbol.
these as well. Like a little symbol, just one symbol between all of us that's like our group symbol.
A wedge
we
of
scratch.
cheese.
Can it be cheese?
How about?
Yeah, there you
yeah,
go.
I
It
like.
can
I was
look
literally
like
thinking like
cheese.
a Pac-Man shape.
A wedge
A
of
Pac-Man
cheese.
shape.
Let me
Yeah.
A wedge.
yeah, let me
I'm
put
gonna scribble
something.
Which one's
Yeah.
mine?
It's just going to be a Pac-Man shape. It's going to be a piece of Gouda.
Right, yeah. Pac-Man. Okay, so it's basically just a wheel of cheese with a wedge cut out of it from the top. It's a Pac-Man.
Which is still included in the drawing.
The wedge
like
is
it's
still
separate
included in
of
it, so it's like it's been cut
As
from
though
it,
he's
but
eating
it's
a
there
Pac-Man
still.
eating a slice of pizza, about to eat a slice of pizza.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
think I
you've
get it.
got that
Nice.
symbol that you can cut into things to say that your group is there.
Yeah, or that
Ooh,
we've
that's cool.
been there, or like if we're trying to follow in someone's tracks,
Yeah.
they can like carve something into that kind of vibe.
I love this. This is great planning. This is more planning in one session than you've ever done in the previous 26. You've legitimately come up with a
Wow, you're
strategy.
calling us right out.
Yeah, I am. You suck at strategy. There you go.
Rude. Now, speaking of strategy, Ruby would really like to discuss a point.
Go for it.
The point being, some of us know D&D better than others.
Mhm.
I think it's appropriate to share what buffs we have that can help each other in combat. For instance, being stood next to a rogue, or I'm pretty sure Isabel has something to do with the wolfkin stuff
Yeah.
and being next to people, I think it'd be worthwhile we actually know. So if we go into a combat, we know when it's worthwhile to be stood next to or near people.
I think Briar as a
Yes,
cleric
that
will
makes
have
a lot of
buffs
sense.
like that. Isabel has got the wolf totem, so if you're stood within 5 feet of Isabel, then you get advantage on all melee attacks.
I also have a
Yeah.
new a spell that creates fog, so I'm hoping that would be good for
Yeah,
sneaks.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If you're,
I think if we
you're,
can literally do like a round, if we can do like a round robin in what our
hey man, if everyone can go
like
through your
camaraderie
cool
buffs are.
things,
I mean, I can go first and say I have nothing, so I'll pass
Great.
the buff,
Love
the
that.
shell to someone else.
I can go second and say same.
Well, you've got. Well, let's not
You
say that
get
you don't have
attack
anything.
if we're stood
You have
next to you,
sneak
don't you?
attack. So you have sneak
Uh,
attack. So you get additional damage on your attacks if you have advantage on an attack,
yeah,
or if the
or-
enemy is flanked by an ally. So
but
standing
I
next
don't
to
have to be
Isabel.
stood next to you to do that. You just have to be within 5 feet of an enemy, so it doesn't
Exactly.
matter whether
Exactly.
you're.
So just
so
so
that's
long as that
that's
person
kind of
is
on me
flanked
to
by
plan.
them, yeah, you can
Yeah.
be
Okay, so
far away from
it's-
them and still get the sneak attack
Yeah.
at range.
Yeah,
But if you
doesn't-
were stood next to
me
Isabel,
being there doesn't make a difference.
yeah, if you were stood next to Isabel, then you wouldn't need to worry about hiding to get your sneak attack. You could still you could still get the advantage and therefore get the sneak attack. So yeah, you get something. What does everybody else have? We know that Isabel's got the wolf totem.
I also have Entangled as a spell, which
That's good.
I can help freeze people in place without making them fall asleep.
Yeah, reduce their speed to 0. That's always useful.
Yeah, I've also got Mending for objects that I guess aren't magical.
Yeah. And then we've got Ash. Do you have anything that is a group buff?
Yeah.
The kind of thing that people need to stand near you or do a certain thing?
Well, I've got the Eyes of the Night and Vigilant Blessing. So
Yes, that's true. You can give other people dark vision for up to 300 feet, I think it is.
I do
Basically
have
just
the
see the whole
Cosmic
battlefield.
Omen.
Yeah.
So if I do an even, I can help. If it's odd, then I hurt. I also have Guidance.
Yeah, this is
I
all very true.
Cure Wound. I can detect magic. Fairy Fire. I've got Healing Word.
Yeah.
have 2 spells that might also be helpful as well.
I also have Hold Person.
Oh, I've got
Person's
Charm
And then,
Person.
of course, Pass Without Trace. which
Pass
has
without
come in
trace
very
is a yeah, that's a clutch one, that is.
and then Dispel Magic as well.
Great stuff.
What
Briar,
I will
I'm wondering
say
what you've
is
got, Briar.
actually.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say I have the opposite actually. Of some of my spells are with proximity of myself. So if you are stood next to me, I will try and cast a spell. I'll actually injure you guys. So it's wise to try and stand 15 feet away from me. Otherwise, I halve what my abilities are basically without injuring the party.
I've also got Animal Friendship. I don't know if that'll help or not.
That is 15 feet away from Ruby.
Hello?
I do have Speak with Animals as well.
Oh yeah, I've got that. But I've had that for ages.
And Aldrin was saying earlier that they've got comprehend languages.
I've got quite a few spells that might come in handy. But one of them that is quite helpful is comprehend languages, and then I've got twin spell and subtle spell, so I can quietly cast or double cast certain things. I do have convert sorcery points. I might have just got that this level now.
No, you would have had that all along.
Oh, and then I'm just a goober. That's okay.
You have your sorcery points to use on those meta magic things, but you can also change your points in and out of
I have things
spell
that
slots.
I shouldn't have in my inventory.
It might have brought it in from thingy.
Okay.
What do you have in here that you shouldn't?
The Cloak of Coziness, I think, and the Ring of Spell Storing,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
we
we
just-
should
we
work
just
it
didn't-
with
got
other
given-
people.
We just didn't.
We got
put
given a
those into
bunch
other
before they went to
people.
jail, remember?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
thought we gave it back already.
I don't
Yeah.
remember saying giving it back yet. I can't remember that.
I thought
It
Ruby
may have
had the
just been
cloak
a
of
We did that
coziness.
forgetfulness.
last week. Or last time.
Does Ruby not have the cloak of coziness?
We always intended to give it to me, and then I never did.
Oh, you don't have it.
Um,
Yeah, I don't
So
remember
I
seeing
kept-
that.
Yeah, like
Okay.
every combat, I'm like, oh poo, I forgot to ask for it. But it's less important for me now because I have one of the things I did when I
Well,
leveled up Warlock this
Ash has
time.
still
I have
got-
mage armor, so I
Yeah.
can actually protect myself when
Ash
I'm so
still has the
squishy.
ring of spell storing in Ash's inventory, so that's fine.
I do also have the belt of Steve.
Oh wait.
Belt of Steve, there it is.
I also have the wrong spell. I just realized. Because it changed my mind and wanted to swap out the
Yeah,
Ray
I
of
think-
Sickness for.
It's because I was
Dragon's
doing
Breath.
all of these updates in the last minute,
Mhm.
and also trying to remember all
Nope.
of the changes that have happened, and also
There it goes.
yeah, I've updated
Oh,
it.
but
And
Just
don't
now.
forget, I do still have that ring
Um,
of spell storing that I can hold other people's spells.
Yeah.
with.
Which
Yes.
is why I want to just give you guys a rundown of what I do have available in the arsenal. There's, because I've got cantrips, acid splash, control flames, mending, poison spray, shape water. I've got absorb elements, color spray, comprehend languages, and sleep. I've got dragon's breath, misty step, that's a personal thing, levitate, Nathair's mischief, and then I've got poison ball, which is what I was using last time when we were fighting.
Yeah.
And that packs a little wallop.
Well, I mean, it seems like you've all got your stuff together, but also, Victor, I think you said that you had something that you wanted to go over as well, didn't you? Or have we already talked about that?
No. Sorry, I was just explaining that I was eating cake and I spat muffin out at the dragon's breath joke. I basically because I get evasion at level 7.
Yeah.
I was gonna have a big snowball fight with everybody, but it's more of a snowball hunt with Victor, and he uses it to improve his dodging capabilities to get his evasion skill, basically.
Oh, I am
Was
wondering
by letting his
how
friends.
is everybody here going to power up their snowballs? Because I imagine
Oh,
that you
fuck.
guys are going to be competitive as fuck with each other, trying to find Victor and nail him. I mean,
It's
Ruby,
fine.
you've got
Put a
Ruby,
fireball
you've
in
got
it,
your
see if
new
I
like wraps. You've
Like,
got your new
can I
hand wrap.
hex a snowball and make it do necrotic
Well,
yeah.
damage? That sounds
so-
great fun.
So
I mean,
Ruby,
evasion
you've-
doesn't do anything against that, but yeah, sure.
okay, but here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So,
Ruby has open hand technique, which means that if somebody
Okay,
throws a
potato.
projectile at Ruby, then Ruby can
Yep.
use the dexterity to redirect
Can.
that object. So I think that you could
Yeah.
use that to for one, stop ranged attacks, which is something that would definitely help in a group setting. Just before you say,
have done
I
that.
don't have shit, you actually
I did do
have
it!
shit.
I have deflected missiles before, it just rarely
I
comes
know,
up.
but
No
you
one's
said a
stopping
minute
it.
ago, I don't have anything, so move on. That's literally wrong, because you've got this.
To take like
Wanker.
archer form and hurl luminous arrows at you to try to dodge and like grapple them and stuff.
And yeah,
That's cool.
and then redirect them at Victor, so Victor can can dodge away
Yeah,
from
look,
them.
teamwork.
Just imagine
I mean, I
like,
like the
a
idea
pinball
of, like,
machine of
doing
arrows flying around.
it's like a
Well-
gauntlet run for Victor
Yeah.
to improve his dodging and his dexterity.
It's like Takeshi's Castle. That's a dated reference.
He's happy with
Old.
that. He's happy with that.
I like Takeshi's Castle. Come on.
You're,
Throw
I
a
mean,
poison ball at you.
there is that.
We're trying not to kill him.
Yeah, I
Look
have
at-
some
I mean, to be
darts.
fair, I'm probably better against
Dodge,
stuff that
Victor.
needs me to make a dexterity save than anything else.
Yeah.
But throw normal stuff at me. That's fine. I did ask for it.
I'm just saying,
Well,
to
yeah.
Robert, put that snowball down.
You've still
It's
got
not
uncanny
making it
dodge if it
easy.
does hit you. Right. Well, I think that this has
Yeah,
been
it was
great.
just a flavor thing to learn evasion,
man.
basically.
And I 100% appreciate that.
Well,
So we
could
come
you
to the
say
end
the
of
green
your.
circle, please?
Yeah, sure. We come
Thank
to
you.
the end of your sort of 2.5 weeks of downtime. You've been focused on what you've each been doing and what the group has been doing. Is there anything in particular that you wish to do on this point onwards? You find it.
I would like to drag Ox through the mud instead of him
Okay.
just dragging our names through the mud.
Well, here's the thing. I'll go through the bigger points of the rundown that I gave you because it was a lot of information all at once and I was talking for about 15 minutes. So, how about I give you the bigger points so that you can focus as a group and decide on what you want to pick first and what your secondary priorities might be. For one,
Right, bullet point.
yes, for one, Buri and Arana have got away. They got their ritual off. Ragnarok has effectively started. But no announcements from them since. You've not heard hide or hair from either of them. Second, giant earthquake. It's shaken the whole world to its ruins, basically. All of the old barrows where they buried the dead have like shaken up to the surface as the rockfall has cascaded and uh, uh, shaking it all loose, but also some old godly temples, ancient gods that are long forgotten, not in this pantheon. Rumors of them have been spreading, that there are these old temples around and about that people have been seeing poking up out of the earth now. So there's that. Also, the people leaving to go to other places and the shadows growing. There's yes, we talk about shadows as them being a negative thing, but remember that session where we were talking about how Ash was learning about how the dark isn't such a bad thing, and that being in Twilight and learning to find peace in the dark is also quite a good thing. That dark is not inherently evil. It's just another side of life. There is always light with dark, as there is always night with day. And if there was too much day, it would be dreary and awful. And if there was too much night, it would be the same. So maybe investigating the shadows might be interesting as well. And then basically there's like nobody around. This is the fourth point. There's barely anybody here. So, you've got, I guess it's sort of combined with the third point, really, that people have left, but that there's barely anybody left over. So, yeah, you've got where did Ox and Urana go, and why are they quiet, is point one. Point two is there's a lot of old ruins that are potentially very interesting for you to go and investigate. And point three is there's not that many people here anymore, and they're definitely not interested in you guys if they're trying to fight for their lives against the undead. So, what do you guys think? What would be your priority moving forward? And I guess discuss in character. We're doing a lot of over the table stuff at the moment, but let's talk as our characters at this point.
Okay. Perhaps we need a first port of call. Maybe we head toward the first town to assess the damage.
I can be behind that. I think it.
I can fly up to see and make sure like we're not gonna like fall or the ground doesn't look uneven or anything since this earthquake.
Yes.
Hmm.
I think if we're going to undo what has been done, then perhaps we need to start by trying to help where we can most immediately.
We should also possibly be on the lookout for the Valkyries, see if we can find them again, because apparently we're
Yes.
special.
Yeah,
Yes.
why
I
are we
mean,
special?
I wonder how busy they might be if there's a lot of undead around. Whether, well, that must have affected their work life, surely.
I mean, we can probably help a little with that.
I could kill some zombies. I could
mean-
enjoy killing some zombies.
Are we supposed to purify them and like send them back? Or I don't know anything about zombies really.
I mean, just happy. I'll smash their skulls.
Maybe we investigate the zombies and then we decide if we should punch
It's-
the zombies in the face.
Does anybody
Maybe.
here know how to deal with undead a little better than myself, for example?
Clerics?
Anybody have experience of the
I only know
undead?
how to. I only know how to make people dead. I don't know how to how they go undead.
Same.
I just know where some
Same.
dead people go. I don't know why they come back.
Perhaps Briar?
Yeah, Briar has
Would you have
knowledge.
read anything about this?
I think I would have to do maybe like a history check or something, but clerics in general have several.
You definitely would have learned it in the basic canon of being a cleric. That like the
Okay.
nature of undeath and what it
Yeah.
entails. Like that's a big part of religion in general. Like
Right, and I have
being a,
had.
yeah, like worshipping one of the gods like Ea, that doesn't necessarily make you a cleric. It just makes you a worshipper of Ea. To become a
Right.
cleric, you have to be a worshipper, but you have to then go levels above to be able to channel their power. And no self-respecting god or goddess is ever going to give power to somebody who doesn't know shit about them or their clerical domain, you know, their godly domain. So you
Right.
would have had to have known about this to have gotten any power in the first place. That's my logic behind it, anyway.
I have spells relating to like destroy undead, I think is one. And several others that relate to dealing with undead. However, I would have to like play around with it during like a long rest because I don't have anything of that nature currently prepared.
Don't forget
You've got 2.5 weeks. We can just tack on an extra day and say that you can change it out now. But what spell would you be using for undeath if you were worried about?
You'd have to give me a minute to look through.
You can
There's
take all the time you need. Where in the world do you think that you guys would be headed to first? It's a very different landscape.
Closest town, I think.
Right, you don't exactly have satellite imagery, so you don't know what the place is going to look like until you get there. So, where would you have been spending this time? Because I'm guessing that you wouldn't want to stay at this snowy cabin where the scene of the crime happened 2 weeks ago. You probably would have moved on from here to find somewhere safer. Where do you think that you guys would have gone to? Would you be
Seems
going back up
safe.
to the
We
top of
just
the
pick a
mountain,
direction.
or...?
I'd wondered if we'd gone back to the town where we'd left Leopold, because that was this vague region, wasn't it? It was vaguely south. This is where I can't remember where we are because my sense of direction is
Yeah,
atrocious.
It was Kashala Port, I believe.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was near here. I thought it was.
Sort of, yeah. This is kind of the other side of the White Scar. It was up there ish, like towards more towards sort of Ironfront, through the mountain passes. But yeah, you're in the vague area of that, yeah.
So it wouldn't be unreasonable that we'd trekked there and taken long rests along the way.
It's 2 weeks. I'm happy for you to have been anywhere in the world. Because you're powerful enough now to be able to traverse this land without too much difficulty within that time frame. It's just, give me a name. Whereabouts do you want to go? You want to see the map? Shall I bring the map up on the screen for you all? Would that help?
How likely were we to still be really wanted as criminals in some of the towns?
They're distracted, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
worried about. Like not
Yeah.
Ironfront and Poodle. Like
Yeah.
we were
This is
getting
just
away with being in
Ironfront's
Charlotte
home.
Port.
This is one
Yeah.
of the
Yeah, I
things
think
that
that would be-
Yeah, so this was one of the things that I brought up, was that people aren't really looking at you as, you know,
Yeah, that's what I
Mm.
mean. They're distracted at the moment.
yeah, they've got other things on their mind, like not being killed by the undead.
Yes.
Otherwise,
This could be
I would have said the dairy would have been a good home base because it's not around people, but it sounds like there's been the earthquake and split in the Red Mountains, so I would not suggest that as a safe place. So I don't know if Kashala Port, where we were chilling anyway when we were wanted, is probably all right now, especially because we've got the tavern keep
There's the
on
map for you.
Yeah, I think
thingamajiggy.
I
I
have a
think we
little
probably.
suggestion.
Sorry, go ahead.
I have a little suggestion. If we want to clear our names, but we also want to help out, right? So why don't we try and find a town that's being overrun? Because I'm guessing there's a few. And if we help save the town, we also get good graces, and we kind of clear our name at the same time. I know they're distracted, but it couldn't help cleaning up the mess a bit as well.
Yeah, I think doing some earthquake damage control, etc., would be a good way to get in
Just-
with the townsfolk somewhere cool.
I'm down with
get our
that.
names out there. Yeah.
I think it would be a good way to prove to people that we are the Gouda guys.
And if we find info about how to stop Ragnarok somewhere along the way, then all the better.
So
Or not
you
We can
should.
we can always slowly
Oh.
make our way over to Dreidel
Yeah.
if we want to try and go back to that port.
You should have the map up
With the
on your
little
screen at this
star-shaped
point.
island.
Map.
Yeah, you should have the map up on your screen on Foundry at this point. So you've got Elysia up in the north. That's the Fey area. You've got Gorizont on the southeast. That's where the fairy godmother is. Dreidel was where the whole town collapsed on that whole north part of it. Tushuga is the realm of the gods. That's where they dwell. Hence why the two cities there are called Majesty and Power, because they're so up their own arses. Corelva is it really only has one kind of city called Direborn. That's a place that Ruby would have gone to and that Isabel would have heard of from the Howlers, because that's where they're from. The Howlers are they were a part of a nomadic tribe. They left Corelva because it's too warlike. Everybody there is only interested in fighting, because that's the only way that you get power and hold on to power, is by fighting. And there are 4 factions there, the nomads being one of them. And then, of course, you've got the Green Waste and the Shurga Swamp and the Brand and Ironfront and the Red Wall Mountains and the White Scar and Kashala Port. They're all a part of the Red Wall. Of course, you've also got Jorgen Lake in Highfall. But Highfall is the place that you were just at, and that is the place where the ritual to speak to Loki happened as well.
Maybe we
Yeah.
go somewhere warmer. For now.
That means
If
going
we
south.
really want to get Dreidel on side where everything started, we could go to Elysia and try and get the kids back.
Don't we
Perhaps
want to
we
kind of
go
fix the
to
world first?
Dreidel first.
No worries.
How
I
about
mean,
we
if they don't have a place to go back to, why would
Yeah.
we want to go and get them?
Why don't we, if we want to do Dreidel, why don't we just concentrate on Dreidel itself and get it back ready for people to get back to if they want to?
Dreidel then?
I'm fine with
Dreidel.
that.
Let's
To
go
Dreidel it
to Dreidel
is.
and,
Back to Dreidel.
I'm hoping Rumpelstiltskin will be there too, so I can have a little chat with him.
Yeah, and my
I get,
shoes.
I get the feeling he's one of the rich people that are buggered off.
We'll see.
I think he might probably has another stronghold somewhere.
Hmm.
I think we should
Well,
speak to the
well, well.
mayor.
So
Okay.
you arrive in Dreidel. I have not updated all of the maps because there's like 40 different maps. But this is, in fact, despite what it looks like here, it is covered in snow. The place is frosted up. there are barely a footprint in the snow as well, and the ruin that was brought down where you were, it remains. There is still a hole in the town that leads down into the sewers. Where do you want to go from here?
We could try and find the mayor and
We
see what's
could-
happening.
See if he's still here.
Yes. Why not start with the mayor?
Mhm.
How like hectic is it here and stuff? Is there loads of people like running around screaming and stuff, or
Nope.
like
There's no footprints in the
There's
snow.
no one.
Let me set the scene
what's
for
going
you.
on? Yeah.
As you arrive at Dreidel, you feel a chill in the air that's colder than normal. As was already here. When you arrived in Dreidel the first time, it felt dreary, it felt empty and cold. The people here were cold to you. They gave you the cold shoulder when you arrived. They didn't even want to talk to you. Now that you're here, you still feel that kind of cold shoulder, but this time it's the world itself that's giving it to you. You've arrived here as adventurers, as potential helpers, but they're not interested in that. There are barely even footprints in the snow. Not even the idea of a person being here, because you can't even hear them on the wind. The wind itself sounds empty and hollow. There are snowflakes that drift, and there are little, spots of sleet at times, but all of this snow looks like it landed here last night, and it's now midday, getting on to mid-afternoon, and there's still no footprints in the snow. Like, there's nobody really walking here.
Hmm.
Looks like a ghost town.
Ruby's going to start heading over to the mayor's office, which I believe was up
That is
here
up
where we
there,
found
correct?
Curly's body.
Yes, up there.
I kind of want to go with Victor to Rumpelstiltskin's.
I'll go with Ruby.
Rumple.
Cool.
Hey, chum.
Let's just go and
Hey.
see our old friend.
L
Yeah.
and B going to see the mayor, and then Rumpel and Ash, is it? Going off to see Rumpelstiltskin?
Is Victor?
Victor and Ash going to see
Yeah.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
And then what are Aldrin and Briar doing as well?
Going with Victor towards Rumple.
Okay. So we've got 4 and 2. Cool. Alright. Okay. So, Victor, you get to this point, and I would like for you to give me a perception check, please.
Yes, I was going to say, can I see what is happening? Okay, perception. Boom.
7.
Ugh, garbage today. Awful.
You don't really see a great deal going on here at this point. I'm sorry to say. You see that the door is locked. It's not just covered in flakes of dust, it's also covered in motes of dust. There's no, like, it's not just snowflakes, it's dust is thick on this door. Like, there's not been somebody around here for a very long time. The shelves stand mostly empty. It looks like people started to raid the place and broke through the windows, but when they got in and found that, they probably heard word that people around here were getting cursed by these items, they decided to just leave the rest on the shelves, so there's still a few of them lying around that people did not want to pick up. The wrenched apart hole that led to the sewer doesn't look like it's been closed, because there is still a good reek of sewage coming from it, although that could equally be coming from the 50-foot hole to your left. So yeah, there's not really a great deal that you're seeing here. Perhaps Ash, Aldrin, or Briar might want to do a perception check as well.
Yes,
or
maybe
give-
we should.
Or give Victor the help action. Ash
That's-
gets an
that'll do.
18. Briar gets a 9. Let's see if Aldrin can do any better, or Mars, would you want to give the help action for someone else to do a perception? Up to you. Mars?
Sorry.
I'm
let
realising that
me
my
give that a roll.
reactive things are not working on this.
Oof.
Reactive.
Not the greatest
Hey,
roll.
there we go.
Sorry, I had muted my microphone because my partner came in and was talking to me for a moment.
Okay.
Should I try and knock on the door?
Give it a go.
I'm
Hey.
picking the lock.
There we go. I've finally I had moved over our scene on OBS, but I hadn't put your reactive things back on because I remember they were broken last time when Discord fucked up. So with an 18 perception check, Ash, you can see that there is. I think that your preparation time, during the, your preparation time during your downtime, where you all focused on language, and you four in particular being those four who worked on the language thing altogether, I think that you start to notice, Ash, the some words written in thieves' cant in the sort of wooden frame that leads to the alleyway that was not there before.
All right. Well, I will.
You
point
remember
that
that
out to
this was
Victor
the
since he is proficient.
Yeah, this was where you saw the runes last time that led you to the four-pointed star.
Oh, well spotted.
Victor,
I missed
check that
those.
out. It's over here.
Yeah, I'll go and do exactly that and read what it says.
It seems, in the most unlikeliest of ways, to be addressed to you.
Oh. Okay. Curious.
To Victor?
To Victor. It gives Victor's. It's sort of. It seems to have been written, even within Thieves' Cant, to have been written in a kind of a cryptic way, but in the kind of cryptic way that friends who, grew up together would know how to write, you know? And you, without doubt, recognize this as being Arelli's handwriting.
Yeah, I whisper her name like the guys hear me whisper her name as I'm like running my fingers over it.
You can see on here the words "look deeper."
What's that?
That's the total of the message. It's for you, but it says "look deeper."
Okay.
Whoever wrote this here, obviously it's in Arelli's hand. Whoever wrote this here is either very good at mimicking Arelli's handwriting, and has done this just to mess with you, or this was left here by Arelli carefully, knowing that other people are looking for you and that rogues are not that uncommon. So, knowing a rogue for what a rogue is, if they knew that there was a gold reward on the line, and they knew where you were by seeing this message written here in their own language, then perhaps it wouldn't be that safe for you. Maybe that's why Arelli has written it in a cryptic way. Maybe not. Who's to say? But there are many questions with this. And what does "look deeper" mean?
Okay, I'm gonna first off just try to eliminate it being very literal, and this is an alleyway, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just slowly walk down the alleyway, but I'm gonna draw a dagger as I go. And go and look deeper into the alleyway. It won't let my character move though. It's a little too narrow, I think.
We got walls in the way here.
Yeah. But yeah. I'll tell the guys to like wait a second, basically, and
Hey,
just kind of make my way slowly down
I'll
there.
move the walls out of the way.
Very carefully, like watching my step and stuff, like for like any kind of traps or anything like that as I go.
You want to give me a check for traps?
Sure. Investigation.
Oh,
Cool.
look at that. 28. That's very good for traps.
And like checking the walls and stuff for other markings and things as I go.
There aren't... From what you see, you don't see a great deal of tripwires or pressure plates or, like gummy things that you might step in and get stuck. You don't see those kind of things. Even just like, like plant life stuck out of a wall that might trigger something with like a hair trigger. You don't see anything like that. What you do see, about 8 feet from the ground, just a little bit hanging out from the edge of the wall, just looks like there's a stone that is not mortared in, but is just sort of protruding ever so slightly. If you'd got any less, you probably wouldn't have seen this, but it is just ever so slightly protruding from this wall, and it clearly doesn't have any like mortar attaching it to the wall. It's just in the slot there.
Ash, would you mind giving me a little boost?
Yeah, what do you need?
Could you just lift me up so I can reach that stone? And I'm going to point with the dagger I was holding.
Not a literal
Because I
boost.
assume it's
Vic-
a little bit too high for me to.
Yeah. Victor
read.
doesn't want a literal boost, but Victor wants some words of affirmation. That's the kind of boost that Victor's looking for.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
I can actually reach it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ash is going to say to
Oh.
Victor, "You're so good. You're brilliant." But no, yeah. Ash helps you up, and you're able to grab hold of this. I'm going to need a sleight of hand check.
Yes.
You've got guidance from Ash.
Oh, okay.
So you
What a
can
treat!
add
I also
add
have
D4.
advantage on those.
So you've got advantage, and you can add a D4. 21. 21's pretty good, but it's not quite good enough to get this. It's like a millimeter standing out from the rest of the wall.
So
It's
are you trying to
so very
reach
close.
something?
I'm trying to get this damn stone out. I'm not sure. Does anybody have Can I use my thieves' tools to like wedge in there?
Yes.
I assume a dagger would be a bit too big.
It would
I
for
also
this,
have
yeah.
woodworking tools that might help if you need.
Yes, may I borrow something thin, but strong? So I'm gonna get like
just gonna
Like a very narrow chisel kind of
alchemy
thing.
supplies. If there's
I'm
any
gonna kind of take
thirst
what
or
looks
something.
like the best thing that's like strong to wedge in,
So-
but is thin enough to get down the gap.
With everybody lending their tools to you, I think that after a while that you would just be able to get this thing loose regardless in time. The question is how well you're going to be able to get it loose without damaging it. It's whether you want to leave it looking like it hasn't been changed since it was taken from here. Anybody could just break the brick open. It's really, the question here isn't whether you can get the brick out. The question here is whether you can get it out without leaving traces of you being here behind.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan. Do you want me to roll something?
Well, with
again
everybody
to
giving
check?
you their tools and supplies, I would say that you're going to get the help action, definitely. But this will be the help action on a Thieves' Tools check, and it will be a DC of
Which I have
25 to
anyway.
be able to get it.
Okay.
25 exactly! Look at
The
that!
deep breath,
Oh,
literal
yes.
in character deep breath as he does it, and like rolls
Yeah.
his shoulders, and then
you're literally like standing on shoulders. You've got like a thin grasp in one side and a lockpick in the other, and you're just ever so carefully able to get this thing out. And inside of the inside of the hole where this brick sat, you can see a little something in the dark there.
I will. Something in the dark. Okay. Does anybody? Never mind. Never mind. It's okay.
Tweezers?
I'm gonna. No, I'm gonna put my hand in, but carefully. It's fine.
Okay.
Mhm.
You
Yeah, I'm
reach
gonna.
your hand in. You have to sort of
Yes.
rotate your shoulder upwards so that you can sort of get your arm in, because it's quite a
Yeah.
long hole that this thing has been blocking up, and so you have to get you like 3/4 of your arm down there, and getting that in straight is
Jesus
really the key.
Christ.
But as
Yeah.
you reach your hand in, you can feel the stone sort of grazing against you and feeling the cold and the damp and the dankness and having the smell of wet stone coming in from the coming out from this hole. And as you slowly creep your fingertips towards it and you're running out of arm to reach, you just manage to get hold of something and something breaks off from it. You want to keep reaching? See if you can get your whole arm in there? Or leave
Fuck it.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, no. I want to get it.
You reach your whole arm in there. You're now up to the shoulder. Your shoulder's starting to sort of like shout. Not quite scream in pain, but shout in pain. Because you're now pinching your nerves against this brick. And as you finally get your fingertips around it, you're able to pull out a little gingerbread man.
Okay. I I drop down. There's nothing else in there now.
Nope.
Okay. Is it made out of actual gingerbread?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll kind of rotate it in my fingers in front of everybody. Any thoughts? I mean, I had a dream about something like this, but does anybody know anything about a gingerbread man? Can I roll anything
can
to
all
see
give
if
me
I've
a history
heard
check.
a story or something?
You already know the
A history
story.
check. Sorry.
You already know the story because you dreamed it. You remembered it from.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I
Oh, you want a
remember there's a
refresher?
ginger, but I don't know where it is. Do I?
Sure. Yeah. Go for the history check. You remember that it was actually it was actually in the woods near the orphanage that you grew up at in Ironfront.
Okay. I wasn't sure whether it was like my dream kind of making that up or whether that was actually its like geographical location. Yeah.
So yeah, you remember that was the place where Aurelie first started gathering other orphans from the same orphanage to learn trickery and sneakery and thievery, so that you could get back at the old witch that lived in there that was supposedly eating children.
Yes.
This is where your
I think
origins
we...
of being a rogue really came from. That place.
Yes. I think once we're wrapped up here, a trip home may be on the cards. But for now, let's continue, and I'll place the brick back. I'm gonna before I do it though, I'm gonna pop a like a silver coin in there. Not my silver coin, like my favorite one, but just a silver coin in there and place the brick back on.
Great stuff. All right. Let's see what the other two are up to. Ruby and Isabel, you have headed over towards the mayor's office. The door hangs off its hinges. The room is in ruins still from the actual day in question, Here, I'll just delete the door. See your way through. There's nothing really left in this room, and there's certainly no mayor here. Half of the mayor's office fell into the sewer, if you remember when it all happened. So when you arrive here, there's not really any mayor to speak of. What do you want to do from here?
Can I investigate if there's been anything new since we were last here?
Sure. An investigation check. 15.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. It's just a shame that you have minus numbers. So, what is it in particular that you're looking for? You said anything new. What kind of new thing are we looking for in terms of?
I'll see if there's any new disturbances and like anybody else looking for something.
Okay. With a 15, you can see that this place has been looted. The people have come in and sort of taken the quill or the ink or the little stool that this guy sat on. Anything that basically had any kind of gilding on it. Because you definitely remember there being like nice little touches on things, personalized this and that, the last time that you were here. The kind of ephemera that you build up over time as a person in a high-ranking office. You know, you get gifts from people for favors and that kind of thing in a corrupt world like this. And of course, he was in league with Sir Curly, and Sir Curly was as low as they get. So he's going to have had these kind of things around. And yeah, you see a lot of them. Well, should I say, you saw a lot of them when you were last here. You don't see a lot of them now because they've all been pinched. You even see that people have been prying up floorboards in some places. But no sign of the mayor and the house or building is back.
I think it's safe to say he's not here.
I'm assuming the section that had, like the little hatch he had, because he had a safe room in the sewers, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'm assuming the ability to get that is just crumbled in with the sewers. There's not like that little
100%.
hatch still.
Yeah, 100%. It's completely destroyed.
Cool. Okie dokie. Ruby will want to just take a peripheral look around the building.
Yeah.
Not a peripheral look around the building. I didn't phrase that very well at all.
Perimeter.
Taking her surroundings.
Okay.
So properly
Yeah.
focus on what's actually happening in the vicinity. So there's no people, but maybe has she spotted someone on the way to the mayor's office, or this gentleman who appears to be in the top. So I guess just getting a gauge on.
He was the guy. He's just left over from the last time.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was meant to be there.
He
and
was
I was like,
the
I'm
guy
gonna have to mention him.
Yeah, he was the guy from the pirate ship that was trying to flee in the boat that you guys got, and I think one of you jumped in the water and dragged him back or something. But yeah, he was that guy. I've just not deleted him yet.
Cool.
Cool.
Ruby's gonna take in her surroundings then.
Okay. Well, for one thing, you see that there is there's off the coast a little bit. There is it seems like the earthquake has shaken something out. That looks like there's some kind of stones, like upright stones, that you didn't remember seeing them before. It seems like there was some kind of like a hillock. It's quite a hilly place, this, really. You don't really get the sense of it on a 2D plane, but Dreidel is built on two major hills, and this part of it being on the north side, the there's a little bit of it's downhill from you, but it was still a raised area from sea level, and it's been completely rent by this earthquake, and there's just rubble falling apart from it, but completely different coloured stones. I'm no geologist, so I won't give you the names of these stones, but and you drag my name through the mud for it anyway. You're an archaeologist, but yeah, these.
Right, I'm having to call you right out. My degree is in biology and geology, so I'm really not an archaeologist.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, then definitely not. Well, no, I got the two mixed up as well because you're a paleontologist anyway, aren't you?
Yep.
Anyway, so you've got these stones that are there, but they're in an unnatural formation. They don't they don't normally grow this way. They don't normally sediment in this way. They are clearly man-made, but from what era you couldn't be sure, because they were beforehand encased in this mound, and now they have started to be shaken free. They're not completely free. They're still sort of like trapped up to like the necks of them. But if you investigated further, I'm sure you'd be able to find something more. But that's sort
Yeah,
of
if Ruby's seeing a
northeast-
shiny rock, she's going straight to it. We know what she's like.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So
Can you ping it on the map for me?
I'm gonna go
well,
and punch it.
I would say it's sort of like further up from here,
Very
like the
tempted.
very northwest. It's like just off the edge of
Okay.
the map, but it's
Cool.
relatively close by, but not close enough by to be on the same map as you. So it would be there essentially. But imagine like
Lovely.
the image I'm trying to give you in your mind's eye of like the top level of like, you know, in Skyrim, the like the standing stones. Imagine like the top layer of them,
Yes.
or like a henge. It looks like that sticking up from out of the earth.
I really enjoy how, of all people, you said to me, "Do you know, like in Skyrim, is if
Yeah.
my cat is not named Ulfric Stormcloak." I
No,
love
I
this.
know.
Anyway,
I know that.
Ruby will just nudge Isabel after she's sort of finished her
The
investigation.
I will
of the
just
office
clarify here
and
on
just
that
sort of,
one. B
oh,
that the do you know bit wasn't for your benefit. I know that you fucking know it. It's for everybody else's benefit. Do you know?
I
Hey,
came up
it
from
was
the
our
way to
conversation.
Run, so
D&D is
I
a
don't
group
know.
activity.
Why?
It's not just
why
you
is everyone
here.
else listening? Why is everybody else listening in?
right?
Yeah, why is
It should
everybody
only be
listening to
me.
my one-to-one time with Luke?
Stop being so nosy.
Exactly. Everyone's so nosy. Leave me alone.
How
I just
dare
wanna
you
talk
ask
geology
me,
and
of
Skyrim.
all
I have
people?
two very key interests.
I like Skyrim.
Jesus Christ. Okay,
Anyway.
so you go
No,
up to these things. Yeah.
after I've done that, I will just nudge Isabel after she's looked. You know, I've clocked she's looked around
Yeah, yeah.
enough, and just go. I think it's worth having a look at those rocks because they're not standard rocks. But maybe we should find the others before we head off, so we're not
So
too
what,
far apart.
do you want to take a look at Waterhenge then?
I think we should have a look at Waterhenge, but maybe we should get the others to come also look at Waterhenge. I may like a shiny rock, but investigating the shiny rock might be Victor's specialty.
Okay.
This is where you guys would probably have finished up with your gingerbread mystery. Do you think that you guys would be walking up towards Ruby and Isabel? Or would you be staying put and waiting for them to get to you?
Unless anybody else wanted to rob Rumpelstiltskin of his horrible cursed items.
Yeah, nah.
No. Yeah, let's go
I
and
have
find the
enough
others.
of those.
I don't think he's home.
Aldrin, are you still wearing a hat?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely is still
I'm gonna
wearing
take-
a hat. It's a cursed hat. You're not getting that shit off. I think,
Yeah.
did we remove the curse? Or did we... so it's still got the magic on it? Or is it just a regular hat? Or is it still cursed? I can't remember whether we did that.
Don't know. I can't remember. There was something about it, but then I forgot to write it down. And
Because
now
I remember
can't
you
remember it all.
asking... I remember you asking someone to
I
remove the
wanted the
curse on a bunch
shoes
of
to
things.
shut up.
Yeah, no, they definitely did have
It was
that
Merlin,
removed.
right?
Merlin, yeah. I remember the shoes
Yeah.
did definitely have the great mythical moccasins. They definitely had the curse removed off them. But it's just the hat of hats. The wondering whether
Yeah, I've got
that's...
the hat of eternal hats, which I haven't unhatted myself because I like the hat that I started out with.
Yeah. Fair. It's fair. It's like
It's
a
the hat of
virus
hats.
as well, because it spreads to everybody else that wears a new one. Whenever you take one off,
Yeah.
and you keep the one on your head. Anyway, so you wait until everybody's all together, I guess.
Before we leave, I'm going to leave Rumpelstiltskin a little note saying we need to talk. Victor. And tuck it in, like wedge it into the door.
Nice. I like that.
And then,
I
yeah,
like
we'll
that
head
little
back.
detail. Right. Oh, wow. Why don't you have your...
Are our footprints the only footprints as we walk back? Just out of interest.
Give me a perception check.
I know where that is.
Yeah, you don't see any that don't match yours to the best of your recollection.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So you get back up to Ruby and Isabel. They mention the plan, heading up towards this other area so that you can investigate these stones. Be clear, it's probably about 120 feet from you, something along those lines. It's like it's a bit downhill. You're at the coast here, but this is quite a raised area up from the water's edge where you're at now. Where that is, it's sort of still downhill, and it's still it gets to a point where it's nearing the water level, but it's not quite there yet, and there's still a lot of earth above water level that's surrounding these stones. At the moment, you can see 4 of them that are partially protruding up. They look like they're in a circular formation, but they don't complete the circle. So chances are there might be more there hidden underneath the rubble.
We're going to look at these.
Are we all
I think
going?
it might be worthwhile.
Let's go. Yes.
Let's go.
Certainly unusual, and it wasn't here before.
As you
Just,
head over towards it,
watch your step.
I won't ask for a perception check to see if you can hear noise. You can definitely hear 2 people talking, but I would ask for the perception check so that you can hear what it is that they're saying.
I can't see them, can I?
No, they're sort of they're you don't know exactly where they are, but you can hear the vague direction of the stones is where their voice is coming from, and you could maybe guess that they're on the other side of the hill.
That's cool. I was just checking if I could lip read, that's all.
Yeah.
But perception from everybody, right?
Whoever
Yeah,
wants
it's
to.
for everyone.
Whoever wants to. You can hear that someone's talking. It's just whether you want to try and focus your hearing on what it is they're saying. Victor, you can barely hear anything. That was definitely a nat 1.
For listening, yeah, I'm too distracted by the tiny gingerbread man in my hand.
Yeah, I think you're
If you
hearing
want to
your
torture
pulse
him,
in your
hit
ear.
from the legs first.
Victor's close call with having his arm trapped in a brick. That's probably led your heart to be beating ferociously. And you just hear the pulse in your head.
I'm personally very claustrophobic, so when you were saying it, I was sat here with my eyes closed, like no.
Yeah. I would never have made your arm get stuck.
I've chopped off players' arms before in game.
Yeah.
With traps, so I was like, oh, he's gonna chop my fucking arm off, but Victor would just reach for it. But
yeah.
But yeah, we're all
maybe in the future, but not on that one, no. Okay. Yeah. So Ruby, with your cat-like ears, you're able to actually hear what it is that's being said. The rest of you don't really hear it. It's kind of muffled. It's echoey. It's sort of like you can hear too much of the water, too much of the footsteps, the rubble, the just like the clatter and clank of your equipment. But Ruby, your ears are just focused and pointed and ready, and you are listening intently to this discussion between 2 guys, both of which sound a little bit, should we say, studious? Is that a good way of saying it? Well, have you got it? I didn't have it. You had it. What do you mean? Well, I didn't bring it with me. I thought you had it. No, I don't have it. Why would I bring that with me? Well, because you knew that we were coming here and that we would need it. Well, no, I don't normally bring that. That's yours. It's your tool. Why would I bring your tools? Well, because you're the one that carries them. I only carry them because you're a lazy shit. What do you want me to do all of this for you? More to the point, why am I always carrying your shit? You should bring it yourself, you lazy bastard. Well, that's very, very nice of you. I'm trying to come here and try and unearth history, and you're here not allowing me to use my own tools because you don't bring them. No, I haven't brought your tools because you didn't bring your tools. Why the fuck would I bring your tools? They're your tools. Well, I don't know about this. I'm not very happy about you doing this, you know? This is. You can interrupt them at any point, by the way. You can just hear this
I could just leave you to have fun.
yeah. You can hear this conversation going on and on and on the other side of this
So
mound.
Ruby, yeah. Ruby will just, I don't know, I guess get closer to make herself apparent. She's just not going to view this conversation as aggressive or anything, and just shout, "Do you need a shovel? By any chance? Is that the tool you need?"
Well,
Yeah, I snap out of my reverie at this point. I'm like,
please
"Oh,
don't hurt us. Whoever you
it's
are,
Hurt
okay.
you?
take whatever you
It's
need.
okay. Calm
wasn't-
down.
Wasn't gonna hurt you. I just was offering you a shovel.
We have tools.
Sounds
It's
like
fresh.
you're a-
You can take the tools if you want. No, you bastard. They're my tools. Don't you give them my tools. Oh, you're such a
Well, we don't-
bastard, you are.
We don't want anything.
Well,
we just
we
came
were
to
just-
look. Yes.
We're just curious
came
what
to
you're
look.
up
Yeah.
to.
We
if you
just
want
want
to
to
take,
know what these rocks
if
are.
you're here to kidnap us, I tell you, I'm not worth much. But you could sell his organs for a lot on the black market.
Okay, whoa.
Respectfully, I'd like to minimize the amount of time we're spending together.
Honestly, Florian, I thought you were better than that. Shut the fuck up. They're clearly here for something.
Okay, Florian
let us-
and
Oh, Melfor. Who are we
Florian
talking
and
to?
Melfort?
Are you trying to steal off us or not? I'm not quite clear on that.
No, we do not want to
No.
steal from you.
All right then. We're coming out. You see two. First of all, you see their hair. You see their hair is like ginger, but also kind of like wiry and just braided in all kinds of different ways. And as he starts climbing up the hill, you can see that he's incredibly pale. He's got a very thick beard. And he's got what do you call it? He's a dwarf. So this dwarf walks over the top of the hill with a belt that should have tools in it, and then the other one climbs up after with darker hair, also a dwarf. Similar sort of braiding, but where one of them has got braided in two, the other one's got it braided one, and then where the other one's got their hair in one particular style, the other one's got their hair in the other particular style. These you couldn't be sure if they're friends or rivals or family members, but they are certainly two dwarfs, both of which are here to do something, it seems.
Hello, Florian and Melfort, was it? My name is
Yes.
Ruby. We only came here. We were curious about these rock formations. They don't seem right. We just wanted to have a look. Call me a geologist if you want, I guess.
Well,
what are you gents here for?
there's history. There's a lot of history in this, and we want to try and find it. We're not happy with we're not happy with with what we've got. Well, yeah, you could say that.
What do you mean?
What you've got?
Well, we don't like saying the word out loud because you never know when they're listening. Those up there, and he points his finger up to the sky. Those up there with all the power, you know what I mean. We never know when they're listening. You know, they point over towards Briar. You look like you might know something about their kind. Well, we're trying to avoid them overhearing because we don't know whether they're listening, and we're here trying to find these. We saw these stones, and they're like from old. We're pretty sure that they're from old tradition. We've been studying the old scrolls. It's like we're at a college, but the college just disbanded with everybody leaving and that. And well, we just wanted to try and see this for real. We've seen like drawings that have been in an old ancient scroll for hundreds of years, but we've never seen these things for ourselves, and no living person has, I don't think. Even elves.
Would you mind
Sorry.
if I took a look?
So they were put here by the gods.
No, don't use that word. Don't use that word. You know, we never know when
Right.
they're listening. We don't want to use the G word because I don't
How
know if
about-
it's like a trigger phrase or something and they start listening.
How about we use the word dog? How about we use dog instead? It's same
Right.
thing.
Yes.
Drowned.
Yes. So we don't like the current dogs that we've got. The dogs they're making a mess of everything. And we think that there are some better dogs out there that are better for us as gods. Dogs! God damn! No, not God! Ah! And then Florian smacks him around the back of the head.
Dog gam.
Malfoy! You don't have to hit me! Yes, I do, clearly.
I would say dog gam.
You, yeah. Look, there's something here that we need to explain. Right. There. What do you know of the current dogs that we have?
They're all barking their bite.
Very good.
That's joking.
Very good.
Okay, they're all bite at the moment.
Yeah. He's a
I
good
think the odd one has some bite to it.
You've got a bone to pick with them?
Yes, they're not the most honest creatures.
I like you. You didn't make a pun. Right, I'm going to talk to you exclusively now. He points at Victor.
Oh
Right.
no, you don't want to talk to me. Bye bye.
He walks over to Victor and holds out a very dirty hand to shake.
Shake his hand. I'm also probably quite dirty at this point.
For all the nerdiness of these two guys, he's got an incredibly strong grip. He's like a dwarf through and through. Like he's built like a dwarf, but he just has the brain of someone that wants more for himself, I guess, than just, you know, making armor and swords and the things that the dwarves are known for. This is a person who is studious, who wants to find more of the world and to worship and to find better for these people, I guess. That's the kind of impression that you get just on a surface level, without the need for an insight check. That's like your passive insight, if you like. But yeah, you get that kind of a sense of this guy. So Malfoy is the ginger guy, and Florian is the dark-haired guy. Malfoy is the one who has he was the one who was always being told to bring the tools, but he's not the owner of those tools. Florian is the one who owned the tools, who wanted, if you like getting them mixed up in your head. Florian is the one who didn't bring his tools. Right. So, Malfoy, the ginger one, walks over to you, Victor, shakes your hand. You get a good grip of it. Almost,
Victor,
it's like same arm that you just had a nerve pinched in that wall, so it's a little bit tender already. You probably put it down to that in your mind of why you can't really grip properly. And yeah, he just says, right, well, look, we've got dogs now. But before these dogs, there were other dogs that people used to worship. And they erected these stones that have been documented, but we've never seen them, and we don't know why. They just disappeared. So we don't know where they went, but we want to look into them and start exploring them because there's probably a lot that you can find from them about the history of the world and the history of where the other dogs are. Because I don't imagine that dogs just stop existing, and it must be hard to kill one. So, where did they go?
I don't know. Maybe their existence is just on pause.
Oh, fucking hell. Florian, they're yours now. He goes back to finding tools out of their sack. Got like a bag full of something that's clattering around over the hillock. Florian stood there. Well, yeah. Melfor kind of said it all. Yeah.
So, are you expecting there to be something here?
Yeah. What?
You
what
can
made
see
you
that there's
choose
things here.
Here today.
He looks at the like he points at these like standing stones. Like, look, these shook out from the earthquake. See, this is evidence that there's something lower. He points at one of them, and you can see the beginnings of a character that it's in an ancient language, but he points towards it and he says, "Look, don't you see that? That's the start of a word. These things don't just get written into the walls themselves, do they?"
Do any of us recognize it?
Yes. Who is it that can magically read it? I forgot.
Aldrin. Aldrin's got
Aldrin?
comprehend
Aldrin,
languages
can
by
you-
touching things.
Get to
Comprehend
comprehend it.
languages, yeah. Let's
Are you
go.
able to read these
Mm-hmm.
more for you?
Yeah. Let
Yeah.
me just grab.
Wouldn't you have like excavation-ish tools?
You could give me a.
I have a shovel.
Right. Let me say that the group DC for this will be. You've got. Okay, let me think. You've got 6 of you. Let's make the group DC 100 again. And then for every level down that you bring it, I'll give you more of what is written here. And I want one person to give me a luck check. Call it odds or evens. Who wants to do it?
Luck check.
So one person call it and I'll roll it for
Yeah,
you.
a luck check. You need to call odds or evens.
Odds.
Odds, okay. Aldrin's called odds. If it's odds, it's good news. It's evens.
Balls.
Oh no.
Okay. So everybody give me a strength check. Athletics strength check.
Oh, balls.
Either
From
or,
everyone, or can
Well,
we give like
athletics will add
never mind,
your-
people have just started rolling.
Yeah, athletics. Athletics would add your proficiency if you've got
So
one.
Isabel?
So we're going for
Sorry, I am not very.
the total subtracted from 100.
Okay.
So we've
Good.
got 77
Not bad.
subtracted from 100.
Okay.
77
Not
leaves
bad.
you 23. Okay. So, okay. So, Aldrin, you use comprehend languages. You put your hand on the stone for a minute, and you start to feel this cold sort of reach in through you. You can feel that your hand is like, you feel like it's becoming part of the earth almost. It doesn't hurt. You're not physically changing, but you feel this connection to something deeper than surface. It feels like there's something that runs far, far below. And this feeling, it's not all too unfamiliar, but it definitely feels different to what you've had in your past experiences. And you've been alive a long time. The first letter that you can see as you've all started digging away and excavating with your shovel, and everybody doing like a chain gang, moving some of the larger boulders one by one, as other people, the more athletic, maybe Isabel and Ruby, taking it in turns to start shoveling away,
Seems to
just
me.
at the looser rubble as well. And And as the two of you who get the highest score, definitely Isabel and Ruby, and for good reason, I think you've both got the best strengths. You manage to get aside a lot of this from the front of the first of these stones, and you can see that there are some symbols on it. Of course, there's like covered in symbols, and most of those you don't get any kind of a read of language from them. They're not particularly like a written form of language. They're not even like pictograms. They're more like the person's own sense of things, like a drawing, right? That's not really language. Like I know that people say a picture is worth 1,000 words. It it definitely is not 1,000 words that you're seeing. It's definitely just a picture. But the actual letters that you're seeing, which are the large, deep, carved in things, not just surface level, you see that there are 4 letters so far that have been revealed, and they go Z, A, Q, I.
Zaki.
Z, A, Q, I.
Hmm. The only god and dog I know the name that begins with Z is Zeus.
And it's one per stone.
All on the same stone. So
all on the
it's
same
going
stone,
from
okay.
the top down, and there's still some of the stone that's deeply embedded in rock. And if you'd gotten the full 100, I would have said you could shatter through that rock. But this is a long time been here. This has been set in over thousands and thousands of years. So this is not the kind of thing that you're going to break apart with a simple shovel. But if you'd gotten the 100, then you definitely would have. You just didn't quite get past that point. So there's a lot. There's some of this stone left over, and you don't know exactly how much, but you got a good score altogether. You just weren't able to quite punch through that last little bit. So yeah, you've managed to get ZAQI from it, and you can see a lot of other little symbols. If you want to investigate those, let me know. But someone was just saying, who wanted to
Yes.
speak?
Stars, I think that was
everyone-
me.
Go for it.
Any chance I could do detect oh my god, detect magic on the stones? Jeez.
Yeah, you could do
I mean,
magic.
I can do that. I have that.
I mean, I have detect magic, but it doesn't use a spell slot, so I can just go
Go
for
for it. Yeah.
You just become
Says
more
what other people
evil
are
as you
doing.
use it.
Hey, I get to concentrate. Leave me alone. A whole 10 minutes on being evil.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, cool, cool.
I think I did it.
Yeah, you did.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's see. For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. Okay. Let's see. So, trying to find what the school of magic would be. Okay.
Ooh.
Right. So, you feel that there is the very, very, very faintest of faint traces of magic on this. Because it's been buried here for thousands of years. So, whatever spellcaster put it here has long since died, and their concentration has died with them. So, the spell itself is no longer here. But it seems like there is still a good trace of enchantment and illusory magic on here, as well as some minor abjurative things, probably just protecting the stones. But
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Info dump
enchantment,
to group.
yes, enchantment, illusion, abjuration. Those are the 3 schools of magic that you sense on this stone, but they are incredibly faint.
Cool.
Could
I share that with the
dis-
team.
Would you want me to dispel the magic? And then maybe it can be mended?
Why are you talking about dispelling magic from something ancient? We don't even know what spells these are. We might be able to get a mage down here to have a look at them. They could find
Well,
even
I'm
more
good
information
news
from it.
for you.
Don't destroy it. Please don't destroy it.
No, we're not going to destroy it. I want to dispel the magic so that way we can fix it to see what it says.
I'm just trying to read it.
Are you meaning getting rid of the illusionary aspect of the magic?
Look,
I mean, yeah.
we don't know who put this magic on here, but if it's been here for probably like 100,000 years, for the magic to still be there, there must have been a powerful spellcaster. If you dispel the magic, I doubt that anybody that's alive today would be able to re-enchant it with the same thing, especially if we don't know what enchantment is on it. So we need to
What if
find
it's
who enchanted it, or find out what the enchantment is, so that we know how to repair it once you've dispelled it. So if you dispel it now, we will never know.
And it could be holding something scary inside, so maybe maybe try not to break any seals today.
All right. Anybody got any better
Just in
ideas?
case we awaken anything, I'm just a little nervous after our last encounter with dogs.
Yes, yeah. Dogs.
Yeah,
Dogs are nasty. Don't get in with any
Just
dogs.
until we have a little more information. Do you fellows know what these letters may be the beginning of?
I don't think anybody knows that.
Right. Okay.
I mean, there's one person who might.
I don't think that there's even letters there.
Merlin?
We could ask Merlin, yes.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
could.
does he still want to see us?
Who knows?
Oh, wait, I have an idea. Could we take a rubbing of the stone to bring to Merlin so that way we don't have to destroy it or move it or anything?
Like a chocolate
We
or
could.
something?
I mean, Aldrin touched it already and didn't get hurt, so I imagine
That we
that would be
know of.
fine. Yes.
Well, it felt like it was fairly well connected to the world for a little bit there. It was kind of odd.
And I don't know. I guess we would all have paper. Yeah, go ahead. Let's do that.
I could keep it safe in my book so it doesn't get crumbled.
And final question as well before we conclude our session. I think this is going to be something that's going to take longer than a few minutes. Did anybody want to investigate what the symbols are on this thing?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
That seems like something that I would do.
Yes.
Okay.
Ruby has the angle of wanting to see if it relates to her patron, and that's why she'd want to investigate.
And my angle is if maybe it popped up in my book at some point.
Cool.
Ooh, look, a shiny.
Is it investigation?
Yeah.
Oh, I
15,
rolled badly
15,
again.
18,
Ooh,
16,
look, a shiny.
9.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
I love the
Briar, are
9
you
at the
doing an
very end.
investigation or do you not want to?
Who was that? Sorry.
It was for Briar. Okay, so you all sort of get this idea that there's like, it looks like there's like crescent moons into like the full moon into the new moon. You know that like you might see that symbol from time to time where it's a circle with gradually like radiating other phases of the moon going outwards from it in both directions. Then you can
Oh, yeah,
see that
I
kind
got
of
that.
array
The
of a
waxing
moon.
and
Yeah,
waning.
exact. There you go. The waxing and waning moon sort of chart. You can see that's been sort of like carved in here, but less on a. It's less formal than the actual lettering that you've seen in big. Like they're like a foot across each of those letters. You've seen the ZAQI. These are more sort of like smaller than the palm of your hand, each of these, and they're very shallow, and they don't look like they've been done by anybody particularly proficient. But you can see these carvings of the moon's phases. Then you can see like another one looks like it's a boat with sails. You can see that there's another one which looks like a crown. There's one of them that looks like it sort of looks like a very what's the word? Not I'm trying to think of the word for it. Rudimentary. It's kind of a very rudimentary looking gold piece. Like it looks like currency, but not any currency that you've ever seen. But it definitely looks like it's like a like a florin or a dinar or that kind of thing. It's like a little old like pressing of something, but it looks like currency. And then there's other things like animals and wings and that kind of thing. And you just see all of these kind of things that all look like they've been done by different people, is the main thing. I think that's something that Aldrin would notice with an 18. The rest of you would see these images. Ruby with a 9, you think that this is all just a pleasant pattern that someone has done. Because you didn't even get a 10.
It's very nice.
15s
I really like
and above. Everybody else, you get the images and what they all look like. And Aldrin, you get the fact that they all look like they've been done by different people. Because there are different depths, there's different strokes, there's different thicknesses. It looks like there's all different
That's more
symbols.
than one hand.
And there's a lot
Maybe
of
it's
them. The whole stone is covered in them, and it even looks like some of these are older than others and have been carved over in some places, like it's been
yes, maybe they're
overlapped.
like a pilgrimage or something.
More than that.
Moons?
More than one party. More than one set. More
Yes,
than
maybe
one
it's
time.
like a place of worship or travel or something like that.
Are these
Did you say-
signatures?
Did you say there was boats in the part
There's
of
a
the
boat
location as
there,
well?
yeah.
Moons and boats. And it's near the water. I can only think of something to do with the tides.
Makes me think of Valhalla.
Hmm.
Yes, it
So
seems
I
as
talk
though they're
about
carved
tides?
afterwards.
So yeah, it's moons, like the phases of the moon, and then you've got a boat with a sail on it. You've got different animals. You've got currency. You've got a crown. You've got
Maybe they're
a lot of things like that.
maybe they're like denotations of time, like an image to represent each year or something like that.
Mm.
I mean, it could be anything. We
Yeah.
should ask somebody who knows a little more about these things.
There must be a lore involved in this.
Is there anything on all your books about this?
Books? We haven't got
Do I have
books.
to roll anything?
We have scrolls.
May we look?
At the scrolls? They're at the college. We would
At
never
the
be. We
college?
would never bring these here.
And where's the college?
How do I know that you're not going to steal our scrolls?
We don't want to steal them. We'd just like to look at them.
They narrow their eyes at you.
Yes.
We're not gonna go anywhere with them. We'll leave. The scrolls will stay.
our friend
Hmm.
Isabel here is
She likes to
a
read.
big fan of books. Yes.
Hmm.
So
It-
we
it's-
only want to
Read.
gain knowledge so we can try and help people while everything's going on with, well, everything.
They point sort of northeast, and sort of lead towards the coast. Like it follows around, but you can see that there's like a jutting out that goes further north than where they're pointing, and then the sort of the sea comes back in again, and you can see just like a hint of like rooftops among the sea mist and the snow. You can see that there is like a small settlement there. It's smaller than a city. It's probably smaller than a town by the looks of it from a distance. But there's
Isn't
something
that the
over
way
there, and
winter
they
is?
point
you-
over that way.
Will you be
Isn't-
returning to the college?
No,
So we can travel with you if you like.
he needs to go and get his tools. Why do I need to get my tools? You're the one that carries them, but you're the one that owns them. Why do I have to do? And they start going into a fight again with each other.
A lot of the buildings are empty down here. I'm sure you could borrow some tools.
Isn't that looting?
Is there a general store in town? I said borrow. We'll put them back.
Um,
And there's nobody here anyway. Is there a general store in town? Luke.
Yeah. It's in the sort of south part of town, but yeah, you've definitely seen one. You're on the north
I
edge of
could
the
go
map.
to the general store and I have a key, so to speak.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. And yeah, they say go on then. If you want to, you can go and get us thing. You head south.
Hmm.
Yes, I'm gonna go and would somebody help me carry some stuff? I suppose we don't all have to go, but it might be a bit of a handful for just myself.
I could carry little things.
Victor, give me
Yes.
a perception check as you get back to the crossroads. 10.
I did that today.
I would say actually that the snow, yeah, you'll get advantage because of the snow here. There's the thick snowfall. So just roll it flat one more time.
Yeah.
Wow, a 10 and an 11. Aldrin, do you want to give me a perception check? See if you can beat the master.
The one I always
Yeah.
roll badly on.
Jesus Christ,
Oh my
you're both as bad as each
gosh,
other.
What is this today? Oh,
Who is going with
even me.
Victor? Who is going
Oh,
with
no.
Victor? Whoever is going
all
with
of
Victor
us.
to
We
help,
need help.
you can roll a perception check. 10, 10, 11,
I
11,
probably
10,
should.
10.
Never
I think
mind.
the dice are broken.
10!
It's ringed.
Another 10!
Oh my God.
What did I say?
Briar, I swear to God, if you get a 10 or an
Ow.
11, I'm going to scream.
Come on,
Nat
Brian.
20.
Briar,
come on.
please.
Nat
Attention,
20.
attention,
please.
attention.
Nat 20, nat 20, nat 20.
Nat 20, nat 20.
No pressure.
Briar. Briar.
Right
no.
here.
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. My mute was
Roll.
We
muted.
need a
My mute was
perception,
Mike.
Briar. Help us. We need perception.
Okay.
26!
Yes.
Oh!
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, Briar.
A Briar carry.
19.
Yes! We just had to brute force this one by every single person all going with
What?
Victor all together.
All holding our eyes open.
Still, yeah, exactly. 5 people are completely distracted by the idea of these standing stones. Briar, with your thoughts on the divinity and how you are trying to reconnect with your god and your goddess and all of that, and you while you're in your moment of quiet meditation on that idea, you spot on the ground that there is a new set of footprints in the snow that has gone to the alleyway and come from it. And with that, we are going to end our session. We've gone half an hour over already. It's been a good one back. I love you all, but we do need to end it at some point. So we're going to end on that cliffhanger. We're going to end on that cliffhanger. That you see some footprints that go to the alleyway that you and Victor were just in, getting that brick out, and the footprints go from it as well.
Dice are rigged with the 10s and 11s.
Yeah, 10, 11, 11, 10, 10, 10. Literally, every person in the party but then Briar fucking nailed it with 26.
Kind of wanted you to roll a 10, to be fair.
An acrobatics of a 10. Ruby gets an acrobatics of 10, does like half a somersault.
That's with +6 as well.
Yeah, you do half of a somersault and land on your head.
Jesus.
In the snow.
Do a give me a dexterity save to see if you can land it with your hands.
Oh,
You know,
24. You do a sick backflip onto your hands.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you.
Oh,
Oh, you still do a sick backflip onto your hands.
You catch Ruby.
Yeah.
You can't catch me.
So you do. So
I'm
this
the
is like
gingerbread
a.
cat.
So we've got. So Ruby does an awkward 10 jump, then manages to land on hands, but the hands that you land on are Isabel's hands, and the two of you are doing like some kind of a sick fucking cheerleader move. I was gonna say.
Yeah. We are just the strong, cool duo carrying all the shit. We've dug a massive hole, which is just peak Ruby. She's had a great day.
Isabel, yeah, the two
always
of
land
you.
on their feet.
Okay.
Isabel and Ruby both fucking nailed those rocks. Well, Ash and Aldrin are the two squishy ones now, apparently. Got a 4 and a 3. That was...
Hey, Ruby, muscle gang.
It truly was an average. We had two people
Our
excelling and two
perception
people
checks-
not so much.
Our perception checks failed because of all the
Exactly
dirt and stuff
average.
we're not used to.
Yeah, exactly average.
Yeah.
All the way across the board. And then Briar fucking smashed everybody out of the water with a 26 to finish off the ep. Great stuff. Well, that's the end of it for us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming back. It's been great seeing you all again. Session 27. And you finally get to see some new elements in the story unfolding. How have you all found it today?
Fun.
Good, it was super fun, man.
We now have to. It is a rule that we have to refer to the gods as dogs now.
Dogs.
Yes.
We've got Pomeranians and Chihuahuas, and there's some Rottweilers. It's a whole mess of dogs.
I think there's blink dogs as well in this world.
Yes, I agree with
There are
Ash.
blink dogs.
Bulldogs for sure.
Yeah,
So what
blink dogs.
So what kind of dog is ox?
Irish wolfhound.
Ooh. Oh, we're giving Irish wolfhounds a bad name there.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
then he's just a chihuahua. He is just a chihuahua. And then I can't be convinced otherwise.
Well, do you know that poodles are all really like
Psycho.
they've got like big poofy, they've been bred to be beautiful. There are poodles that are of course actually still tall and rugged and all that, but like the little precious ones, those used to be farm dogs. They used to be like thick, hardy dogs, and it became fashionable for people to own them because they liked looking like poor people. It was fashionable. And so they took these dogs and made them look fancy, and that's how we've got the poodles that we have today.
So
because
you're saying
people
that I
wanted to
would have
look
been
tall.
fashionable because I
Poodles
was
of
poor.
today are crazy.
Well, also,
In red.
People still.
Also, a lot of people used to, rich people used to have tapeworm pills that they used to take
Ew.
because they noticed that poor people
Helped you
tended to
lose
be
weight.
very thin, and they also tended to have tapeworms. And so they thought, well, those two must be related. If I get a tapeworm, I'll probably be very thin. And so they used to eat tapeworms. They also used to
That's
have,
weird, because that's what.
they used to have
People
something
still do
which...
that.
Yeah, they used to have pellets of antimony, which is like a mildly poisonous metalloid. And you would put it, like, soak it in your wine overnight and then drink the wine in the morning, or you would swallow the whole pill and then rifle through your leavings afterwards and get it back and wash it off for another go. And these things used to be passed down through generations. And what it would do is it would give you diarrhea. Yeah, it would give you diarrhea, and it would, like, clean you out, so to speak. It was like their way of an anal cleanse was to swallow a poisonous metalloid.
Good.
And it used to be like a an heirloom. It used to be an heirloom from yeah. So you give it to your next.
This
your
is
next
a weird
born.
way to end the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I
weird.
don't.
Just a weird note.
Okay,
Can we
but
change?
Yeah.
Can we have a
I don't wanna
toilet
eat my
paper was
uncle's
invented
No,
in
I refuse.
1930?
I refuse. That's the last thing that we're going to talk about on the stream. That's it. End of stream. I love you all. People used to shit on purpose because they liked to clean themselves out
Hey,
with poisons.
Free toilet
are
paper
you
was
saying-
are
invented
you
in
sug-
1930?
I was going to say, what with the phrase you've just said, Jack, are you insinuating
Yeah.
that in general people don't shit on purpose and it's always by accident?
Right.
You just said people used to shit on purpose.
People don't. You don't form shit consciously. You don't think I'm gonna really focus on this digestion right now.
You don't know me.
Do
You
you?
don't know me.
I think
Right,
you
so-
overestimate the amount of shit that comes out of my mouth.
I love
Genuinely
that-
intentional.
I love that we've been around
know
each other. We've been around each other so much now that two of you had exactly the same note that you came to. You don't know me. Very funny.
Are we rating somebody?
Oh, we can do. Yeah. Who have you got in mind?
Well, my friend popped in and gave me 100 bits so we could rate her. She literally came in to learn.
Go for it. What's the name? Give me a name.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, you did go for it. Well, as
I'll
ever,
leave you to it.
thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for being cool. We're just gonna go and raid out somebody. Has anybody got anything that they would like to plug?
Not at the moment.
You're all awesome. Love you.
Particularly.
This
Wait,
Hey,
episode
that.
Yeah,
sponsored.
I got something.
for
Monday.
it.
This
Yeah, I think
episode
also-
is
Monday for
sponsored
more
by
D&D.
Honey.
It's Cryptic
Consider-
Critters.
Yeah, Cryptic
Considering the
Critters on
current
Monday.
conversation, we should maybe not talk about plug-in.
Hey, that's not what they wanted. They wanted an evacuation.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that said that then.
What
I
else?
need a cleanse. I need a
You
cleanse
do,
from this
you really
conversation.
do.
You can borrow
Yeah.
my uncle's bill.
Yeah, you can borrow my
Right.
uncle's. It's,
Hey,
we've
it's
lost
all
it.
right.
I promise we've lost
Family.
it.
Yeah, I've got a
Um,
family heirloom
I've
that
got
can help me with
I
that.
know. I've got enough generational stuff. I don't need some of yours.
Hydrate, take your meds, love yourself.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Bye.
plug mental health
Bye.
and taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Just be good to yourself. Remember, if you can't be good to yourself, then at least have fun. We're gonna go and raid someone cool now, because Tat says that they're cool and we trust Tats. Love you all. See you
Yeah, love
on
you.
Monday if
Yeah.
you'll be back then. It's my birthday in
Yeah.
2 days. I don't know whether I'm going to stream on that
yeah.
day
Ooh.
or not, but I will be 38 and I'm feeling every day of it. I will see you all again soon. Love you.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Go take care of that throat, Jackal. It sounds like you're getting.
This is the
Horse or
best it's
something.
been. This is actually the best it's been in a very long time, believe it or not. I've hang on, let me just